Imagine you're in your backyard and you notice an army of crickets hopping around, or perhaps you've spotted a mouse darting into your shed.
Most of us see these creatures as pests, something to get rid of. But what if we could turn these unwanted guests into a valuable resource? For survivalists and traditional cultures, that's exactly what has been done for centuries. Repurposing bugs, mice, and other small animals into practical, sustainable food sources.
Let's explore how nature's pests can become a resource, inspired by survivalist methods and ancient traditions, and how we can rethink our relationship with what we often see as nuisances. It might seem strange at first, but bugs and other small creatures are packed with untapped potential. In many traditional cultures and survival situations, insects and small animals aren't nuisances, they're opportunistic food sources. Bugs like crickets, grasshoppers, and mealworms are rich in protein and essential nutrients. They're abundant in the wild, making them an accessible food source if you know how to use them. Similarly, small animals like mice or squirrels can provide nutrition in survival scenarios or as part of resourceful, waste-reducing practices. Learning to repurpose pests allows us to tap into these overlooked resources, transforming them into a practical and sustainable benefit. If you're interested in foraging for bugs, the first thing to know is that they are everywhere, often right in your backyard. Collecting insects doesn't require special equipment. Just a few simple techniques that survivalists and traditional cultures have used for generations. For instance, many insects are nocturnal, making nighttime the best time to forage. Shine a flashlight into grassy areas or under leaves to find crickets and beetles. Alternatively, you can use a net or your bare hands to catch grasshoppers, or set up a bug trap with a light source to attract them. Another method involves shaking tree branches over a tarp to collect caterpillars or beetles that fall. Once gathered, these bugs can be cooked or roasted to become a protein-rich ingredient in dishes. Crickets can be ground into flour, while grasshoppers can be fried or boiled for stews. Small animals like mice and squirrels have also been vital food sources in survival situations for centuries. Though not a preferred choice for most, these animals provide valuable protein and fat when other sources are unavailable. Trapping is a straightforward way to catch small animals. Place traps near food sources or entry points where these creatures are likely to travel. Once caught, these animals need to be cleaned and cooked properly to ensure safety. Roasting mice over a fire or boiling them in a stew are simple preparation methods. Traditional cultures often use every part of the animal, repurposing fur for insulation or boiling bones for broth. This approach aligns with the survivalist principle of maximizing available resources and minimizing waste. Foraging for bugs and hunting small animals isn't a new idea. It's rooted in ancient traditions from cultures worldwide. Indigenous peoples, early humans, and survivalists have long relied on these creatures as part of a broader strategy to make use of nature's abundance. In African and Southeast Asian cultures, insects like locusts and termites are seasonal delicacies, offering nutrition while reducing crop damage. Similarly, during times of famine, many cultures turn to rats or raccoons as vital food sources when traditional livestock wasn't available. These traditional practices demonstrate how we can make sustainable and resourceful use of pests. One of the biggest barriers to repurposing bugs is the Ick Factor, as many people aren't accustomed to seeing insects on their plates. However, with the right preparation, bugs can be transformed into delicious and nutritious meals. For instance, crickets can be dried and ground into flour, which can then be used for making bread, pancakes, or protein bars. Grasshoppers can be fried with garlic, onions, and peppers for a crunchy stir-fry. Mealworms can be roasted until crispy and used as a taco topping alongside salsa and guacamole. Incorporating bugs into familiar recipes helps normalize the idea of repurposing these natural resources, making it easier to overcome initial hesitation. One of the greatest advantages of repurposing bugs and small animals is its low environmental impact. Unlike industrial-scale farming, which requires infrastructure and resources, repurposing allows us to work with nature rather than against it. Bug farming on a large scale often requires energy-intensive climate control, processing, and infrastructure. In contrast, foraging for bugs or utilizing small animals already present in the environment avoids unnecessary farming systems and reduces waste. This approach supports sustainable living, where nothing goes to waste and every resource is utilized efficiently. It's a way to coexist with nature rather than control or manipulate it. Repurposing bugs and small animals isn't just a survival tactic. It's a sustainable, resourceful, and practical way to engage with the natural world. By drawing inspiration from survivalists and traditional cultures, we can learn to tap into nature's abundance without relying on industrial farming. So, the next time you see a cricket hopping through your garden or a mouse in your shed, Remember that what you perceive as a pest might just be a sustainable meal waiting to be explored. With a little creativity and knowledge from history, we can transform these creatures into valuable resources instead of problems to solve. Let's embrace the wisdom of the past and rethink the possibilities in what nature already offers.